We're in Scumport.
We're in Scumport. That's all we know. Scumport session 2.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting again. It's a new season. No, no, fuck that. Um, the interesting thing about this group is like my other group has like 6 players, so it's difficult in this way. But like this one's a lot more difficult just because there's a lot more world after like a year. But yeah. Okay, who in character wants to tell us what happened last time, which was like 2 weeks ago?
Do we have to do it in character?
Yes. A
Okay.
1000% yes.
I won't do it then.
Why not? Come on.
I don't want to. I'm not very good at that. I'm not an acting kind of person.
Fair enough. You're quite good once we get into the swing of things. Actheo, take it away.
Right,
I actually can't remember what happened last session. So.
Well, I do.
Great.
What is it,
Oh, yeah.
generic 1930s gangster?
That's
Basically,
not a generic. That's Napoleon, of course.
Oh, of course. Yes, my apologies.
yeah, I actually feel genuinely offended you would say such a thing.
Hey, I feel really offended. See?
See?
Yes.
You son of a gun. Anyway, so basically what happened is, there was this mold on the ship, which we blew up, and yeah, that wasn't very profitable. Could have been way more lucrative. And then we sort of moved over to Scumport, which is, well, has so far been a lot of port, not a lot of scum. Although there were 2 particular examples running a magic shop, which now appropriately is named the Scrying Ass. And yeah, that's been sort of it. I think.
Wow, that was a good start. 10 out of 10, best, most professional.
Streamlink, that's just on the PATHCO channel, isn't it?
Yeah. Which no one can ever remember the location of.
Well,
It's like different from the main channel, like the stream link. And
yeah, but there's a
PATHCO.
button.
Probably need to change the name of the.
It needs to get posted on Tumblr as well.
Yeah.
Here we
It's called "Are We Sure This Is a Good Idea?"
Channel,
currently,
like the stream
which
link.
is pretty on point.
There's a
That was
button.
last week's one. So
Here we go.
change the name of the,
Oh, weird! You've got like crazy Spanish YouTube.
What?
Your YouTube is in like Spanish or some such.
It's called Dutch.
Probably in Dutch, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
weird.
it's
German
quite
YouTube.
It's fundamentally different, actually.
Are you gonna put it on Tumblr, or should I do it? Okay.
Everyone do it all at once.
Yeah.
I can hear a very gentle whistling in the background of someone's.
I think it's my washing machine. There is
Ah.
nothing I can do about it.
It's not annoying.
Very sorry.
It's faintly amusing. It's just sort of
All right.
My apologies.
Light
I need to
whistling.
calm down again now, Mike.
So, shall we get started with the session?
Yeah,
I think we should.
Let's get started with the session. I'll put
Can you
up
post it
the-
on Tumblr? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Post the hell out of it.
Oh, so are you saying I should do it again?
Are you saying that? Is anyone
know.
saying anything? Hello?
I'm also on the different.
Oh yeah, you can do it if you want.
Oh, okay.
Rad.
This isn't like the YouTube gaming though. It's just like normal.
Well, do you want me to send you the YouTube gaming thing?
Yeah, it looks nicer. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm
I
being
don't know.
picky.
I
like the gaming.
I
one.
suppose the YouTube gaming thing, like the chat interface, is easier to find and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, I'll see if I can get on the YouTube game instead.
Sorry, I'm holding everyone up.
I'll put a name on this probably tomorrow or later this evening, depending if it buffers in time.
Okay.
Alright.
The name
Oh
for it.
god. Hearing my own voice is terrifying. Hi Hellhounds, welcome aboard.
Yeah, me too.
Hellhouse prefers YouTube gaming.
Right, there we go.
Thanks, Jack.
Check.
I'll post a link to that on Tumblr.
So yeah.
Why not just close that? That was too easy to do.
Currently, the party has sort of, well, you've taken a little while to sort of browse and stuff, and then you and Napoleon have arrived at roughly the same time to the Rook and Castle Inn, which is where your Aunt Tilda has elected to meet you.
All right.
So, who enters the tavern first?
I'm gonna do it. Unless
My
anyone
internet's
else
starting to
wants
go
to.
down.
Maybe
Internet, no.
Internet, why?
maybe it's
Yeah, it's been shitty this whole weekend.
Gosh darn it to heck.
yeah. Well, although maybe it's a bit more diplomatic if someone else than the crazed elf enters first.
Okay, well, Sigmund can go in first. If there's any traps, he will absorb them with his mighty frame.
Wait, if are we
Inns
just
are,
going
of
into
course,
an inn?
often trapped.
You'd
We're
be
going to make Dave's
surprised.
great aunt as well,
Yeah, we are going into the Rooken Castle Inn.
with whom he's always got on very well with.
Dave can go in first if Dave wishes to.
What are we
Yeah.
doing with our horses and dogs? We just leave them outside.
Yeah, sure.
There's like a Western style tying post outside, and you do notice that a little further around the corner is like an actual small stable, like probably like the size of like a shed, but open sides, and there's already like a rather bored looking cart horse tied up in there.
So we can tie him up in the stables. Do we have to pay for that, or?
I think you'd probably have to talk to the owner of such premises about that.
I see.
Nice.
You get 20 minutes of free parking.
No return within 2 hours.
Yes.
There's a small sign, very ornately engraved, and that is hammered in on one of the corners of the stable.
Nice.
Yes. So anyway, let's assume Dave goes first because it's his.
All right.
So
I'll let Tankard the horse know that if anyone tries to steal anything, just to kick them in the face.
Good. So entering the tavern, it's probably about 12 p.m., 1 p.m. Middle of the day, and there's the sort of usual clientele, like working types, a couple of more lavish looking like merchant type people, things like that. Like chilling out, having a nice meal. There's a couple of people sipping small mugs of like drinking chocolate, things like that. And you notice immediately that there's a halfling one sat on one of the bar stools, and she's clearly out of place just by the fact that her armor's fairly patchwork. It's a lot of different metals, some of which you don't recognize. She's got a lot of like talismans, some of which glow faintly. And she has 2 sort of scimitars strapped across the back of her belt. And Dave, of course, recognizes this as his Aunt Tilda, who messaged him to meet her.
And sent a pound cake.
And sent a halfling pound cake.
Oddly enough, it strikes me as strange that such a thing would be out of place in Scumport. Or maybe I am imagining Scumport to be less budget than it actually to be more budget rather than it actually is.
This is quite a nice inn. Like, it's probably like a 3 or 4 star inn.
Oh yeah, quite nice.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Bit of an understatement if it's 3 or 4 stars.
Yeah. So it's not the kind of place like there's a couple of merchant taverns down by the river that you've seen when you've come past, and they're the kind that a half orc gets thrown out of the window every once in a while to the point that they've stopped putting glass on the front of them and things like that. But this one is a lot more unused to people of that nature.
Alright.
Regardless, upon turning and noticing Dave, the halfling woman does hop down and sort of... she doesn't come close to hug him, but sort of comes close as if trying for a hug, and then proceeds to, like, sort of ruffle his hair, give him a bit of a donkey scrub, smiling broadly.
She's quite a bit shorter than Dave as well. She's very small.
It requires an acrobatics check, which she passes flawlessly.
Hi, Tilda.
Dave, lad, how have you been? Are these your, She traces her eyes over each of Dave's companions, sort of nodding approvingly at Glanvar, smiling a little bit at Sigmund, and sort of... She raises an eyebrow at Apollyon.
Of course she
These
does.
are your companions.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good that you've finally gotten yourself an adventuring party. I was starting to get worried that you'd end up like your family. Here.
Sigmund laughs at this actually out loud. He pipes.
She sort of nods approvingly. Oh, they're not the most interesting sparks. Here, let me buy you all a drink, shall I? And she sort of motions them up to the bar, and a rather
Glanvar doesn't
elderly.
drink.
Hmm?
Glanvar doesn't drink.
Glanvar doesn't drink. Oh, right, monks, of course. Barkeep, your finest.
No.
She sort of turns to Glanvar.
Milk.
You drink? Is there like alcoholless ale for dwarves? She sort of looks at him somewhat blankly.
It's called water.
Right, okay. Well, a nice glass of fresh scum port water for you then.
I think I'll pass.
Fair enough. So she sort of orders a couple of nice looking pictures of ale for the rest of the party and sort of motions them towards a booth. So, how was the road down south? You were heading up over by, She pauses for a long second. River something?
Riverton.
We
Yeah.
fought a mold.
Wow, that sounds like quite a tale, lad.
Oh, they fought a mold.
Did you start off with more than you came down with? Is this everyone?
No, yeah. Well, I left my dog outside.
Oh, lovely.
There's another dwarf that accompanies us sometimes, but she's not around at the moment.
Good. Dwarves are dependable. Good companions. She nods approvingly, taking a swig of her ale. So, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure you'd have gotten a party, but I'm glad you did. You wondering why I invited you down here?
I thought you'd wanted to see me.
I'm actually wondering why you invited the entirety of us down here.
I'm
I'm
assuming
sorry,
there's
we
some...
haven't been introduced.
The name's Apollyon Buckhart.
Zelda Barrowhill, nice to meet you. She gives him the sort of handshake that sort of squeezes your wrist just a bit.
Yeah. Apollyon
It's a
returns.
faint sound like ripping paper.
Wow. So yeah, Tilda, why is it exactly that you require all of our assistance, not just a family visit?
It can be more than just a family visit. Basically, a old contact of mine at the Adrev Collective. Do you know it?
Do we
Doesn't-
know that? Do we need
You
a
can
knowledge?
roll a knowledge, probably history.
Yeah, rolls.
Yeah, knowing things.
Knowing
Knowledge
things.
history?
Roll to see if you know what this is.
I pressed roll, but nothing
Sigmund
happened.
knows what this is. Apollyon doesn't know what this is. Dave has thorough knowledge of what the hell that is.
Yes.
So
I wasn't actually
basically,
joined into the game.
oh, good work. So
Oh, let's go twice.
well,
It was just being very slow.
basically,
rolling, sorry.
from what you know, the
History.
Adrev Collective is obviously you know that the capital city of the elves to the north is Adrev, which is Elvish for home, and you happen to know that the Adrev Collective is sort of this great big, almost like a museum of all the races on the continent of PATHCO and beyond. And it sort of attempts to sort of look after relics that are dear to each of those races. So,
Cool.
yeah, there you go. So a contact of mine at the Adrev Collective put me in line for some work. I was wondering if you wanted to come with me. Retrieving
Right.
some artifacts from a previously unknown culture.
So yeah,
Sounds- She's
Apollyon,
positively grinning by this point.
Apollyon's gonna say, because I assume that you've told us what the Adrift Collective is, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So Apollyon's gonna say, are you sure we shouldn't, visit this collective ourselves first to know exactly what we're dealing with? And,
Well,
get a
I'd
bit of
love
extra
to, but,
information.
It happens to be about 600 miles north, so,
Ah,
well, get on your horse,
Hmm.
Elf. She sort of motions for the door.
wow. I'm sensing passive racism here towards elves.
I'm just being sarcastic.
Somewhat. I mean, to be fair, she hasn't... Oh, you did tell her your name, didn't you?
Yes, I
Then
did.
yes, casual racism.
Casually.
Hey, one of her best friends was an elf.
Wow.
He got eaten by a dragon, but
Sigmund will try and cut.
I'm
It's
not
like,
racist. All my I have one elf friend.
I have one elf.
calm now, calm now. I'm sure there's no need to be rude, but what is it that makes you think this this quest requires more than just an experienced do we know a barbarian such as yourself? I'm assuming we can tell she's a barbarian.
She's fairly obviously a barbarian. She's fairly covered in weapons. She's got the sort of tattoos and sort of patchwork armor that are generally associated with a barbarian.
What makes you think it's not something a fighter of your caliber could handle alone?
The usual mention of pirates in the waters, dead merchants, people washing up on shore all bloated and the like. You know, the stuff that makes life interesting.
Dave looks
Where-
worried.
Where exactly is this location?
Oh, I meant to mention. It's a small island about, probably about 1,000 miles south of here. I've chartered a boat, so there'll be no difficulty there, but she scratches the large scar that spreads across her nose. Well, you know, with a ship like that, I could do with some guards. And, you know, you seem fairly experienced. I've got some of my own crew, so it won't just be us either.
Right. And do we take the boat from here, or do we travel up to the shore to take it there?
It's far south of here, so we can head straight from Scumport south.
Right.
I've got me. Well, I had my ship stationed up down by the southern docks, but well, I've ran into some difficulties that I'll talk about a little later.
As you wish. If we are to take this boat southwards, I think it might not be a bad idea to take a stop at the shore so that we can examine what exactly has been washing up, as you say. Might give us an idea of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's been the usual sort of stuff that ends up when people try to explore new lands. You know, corpses found with no organs and things like that. But we can definitely
Okay, then.
pull up on a couple of the islands within spitting distance, as it were.
Yes, I think that would definitely be beneficial to our preparation.
Yeah, of course. And you've got free roam of the city as well. We don't leave for another couple of... Well, we shouldn't be leaving for another couple of days.
Right, that's good. All the more time to be thoroughly prepared.
Yeah.
And
So,
I want a bird.
bird? Okay, lad. Here. And she sort of presses 5 gold into your hands. For the gold fund. For the bird fund.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking, and Sigmund looks a little bit nervous, or not, slightly embarrassed. Speaking of funds and preparation, I'm assuming you yourself have been hired to retrieve these relics.
I have.
Who is it that's? Who did you say paid out again? Was it the
Adriv Collective.
Adrift Collective? They're paying.
It's
they're paying
one of me contacts from back when I used to do this thing full time.
This is a direct contract. It's not going through the Pathfinder Society.
Yeah, it'd probably be better if they didn't know about it. She sort of meets eye contact with you and nods softly.
Sigmund returns a nod. It's embarrassing to bring up, especially for a member of good old Dave's family. But what kind of split are we talking for a party of this size?
50-50 between you and between me and my crew. I have to pay them after all.
I see. And how big's your crew?
The usual size for a ship of this magnitude, probably about 15, 20 people.
Ah, I see. And they'll be remaining on the boat while we go out and retrieve the.
Yeah,
relics
they're
themselves.
not fighting people. It's I mean, if push comes to shove, perhaps, but I wouldn't trust them in a fight, if you know what I mean.
Ah, I see. And Sigmund rubs his chin, thinking, "Yes, he's. I've had a few jobs like this before. What's the overall purse?"
The overall purse is I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It depends how much we can
Retrieve.
acquire while we're en route. But in theory, these Adrev Collective guys have never sold me wrong before.
Ah, I see. And Sigmund will produce one of the invoices. So he makes some notes of the Adrev Collective at the top. I'll be sure to make any notes for.
I think the
invoices.
contact should still be in the city if you want to talk to him, but
I would actually be interested in that, yes.
here, I'll she sort of tugs Apollyon's arm forward, draws a piece of charcoal and notes down an address on the pale skin. There you go, lad.
Wow. Thanks.
It's efficient. It's efficient.
Got the
It's-
address.
It's definitely
See,
the quickest way to do such things.
It is. It is.
Debatable.
Well, what do we think?
Um,
Do you want me to leave you lot some space to talk about this?
well, honestly, I don't exactly see why we shouldn't be taking this job.
No,
Just
it's
incidentally, here's the world map.
Ah, yeah, the world map.
Look,
Look,
there's that's where I'm from.
Sir.
I'm
Which
going to
is-
assume she had this out flat on like the table,
Hmm.
and
By the way, that is the old English word for shire, just so you know.
Right.
in
I am
case you
clever,
can't notice,
clever.
the Adrev Collective is far, far up to the north.
Yeah, I
Agree with it.
noticed.
and there's the Arbella ruins.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah, those are marked on the map as Arbella ruins. You're somewhat concerned to see.
Yes. Well, it's enough to.
Isn't Arbella top of right? No, that's Arborea.
Mm,
sorry.
there's also-
Wow.
Yeah, Sigmund will take a look at that and go, "That's it's noting that it's marked down as that." It's like that's a very up to date map.
Thanks, I got it when I first came into town. The cartographers from all over here go all over the place, you know?
I see. I'm just going to go to the bar and get another drink. Does anyone else want one?
No, thanks.
I've only just started on this, thanks. Everyone else has like a quarter of a drink. You notice that
Sigmund just
Sigmund's
downs one and
empty.
goes. Sigmund is empty. He just goes back to the bar to buy another drink.
She
Well,
sort of watches him leave.
has
Does he
on
need like a booze fund daily or something?
Maybe?
I'll keep that in mind when I talk about expenses with my contact.
has until the noticed Gilhelm.
She hasn't. He's sort of milling around sort of underneath the table half the time.
I do think they have like those like dishes they put down for dogs.
Yeah,
they've got,
he's like he's
a
like
tin
licking.
bowl, and
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
there's
like
just a
a
long, like reptilian tongue,
tongue.
that's like 2 feet long.
Yeah, it's like coming out of one of the eye holes of the helmet.
holes.
Yeah.
And all of this.
Oh, I love Go Home.
There's sort of a terrifying like
Favorite, best team pet.
as he drinks. So,
Mhm. Nice, nice.
So yeah, are there any other questions that you'd like to ask Tilda?
These ruins that, or well, these things that we are supposed to be retrieving.
Relics
What
and the like.
relics? Yes. What exactly is the nature of these relics?
And what's it like on the island?
As far as I can tell, it's quite a lot south, so a little more tropical than what we're used to. Don't pack any woolies. But the actual shit we've been hired to find. Well, the Adrev Collective's full name is the Collective. She sort of pauses for a second, toying with one of her like long dreadlock things. It's something along the lines of for the relics of collective importance. She shrugs.
Right.
Basically, cultural shit that they can get a lot for selling. If you
Right.
understand. So if there's a new primitive culture that no one's explored thoroughly yet, we might get a fair finder's fee from the museum.
Apollion's eyes twinkle at the prospect of a primitive culture, probably with lots of like ornaments and relics to loot and steal.
So much loot!
Yeah. Alright, very well. Then I think that is all I need to know for now.
Sigmund has now presumably returned to the table.
Yes. You have my shield. Or however it is that goes. I always wanted to say that.
Well,
My
that's
loot.
good to know. Me human
Not
friend.
literally though. I'm gonna need it myself. Like I have a spare. If you
That's
really
fine.
It's a metaphor.
I'm not sure I could carry it reliably, lad. Like, she's bulky, she's got a fair amount of muscle and stuff, but she's still a halfling.
She only only like 2'9".
Yeah, she could probably use it as like a tower shield left to her own devices.
Nice.
So yeah, she sort of nods. So, what do you think? Are you willing to take it on? She looks to Dave.
Oh, we're here now. Sure.
Well, good. Be good to have you on board. But well, there's a couple of slight problems. Before we leave, you understand.
Okay.
One is right now we don't exactly have a ship.
I thought you said you had one.
Well, she sort of shrugs a little bit. So, Scumport is aptly named. It's fairly corrupt. And in all fairness, I didn't bribe one of the officials. But, like, the rest I did. But, yeah, straw that broke the camel's back. So, the ship's currently an impound with a hefty fee to retrieve it.
How hefty?
Think of what you're thinking of and add 3 more zeros.
Well, and Sigmund downs the rest of his beer.
Good lad.
Yeah. So, what's your next move then?
Well, I have an idea. A friend of mine can hook me up with some suitable winnings to buy back my ship, or get a new one by the time this is all over. But it's going to require a little bit of dishonesty on your part.
Would you say that this is more of a caper or more of a scheme?
I'd say this is more of a scheme. I'd say
scheme.
this is honest work. She motions in inverted commas.
I see. What is the nature of this?
I have a friend of mine at the betting office of the Scumport Arena. Did you see it on your way in?
Did we?
You actually
I'm
didn't.
afraid we... Oh, did we?
It's a sort of large domed structure. Hang on, I'll just bring up the Scumport map again. That's sort of to the sort of southeast of the city.
Alright.
No, sorry, north.
Wrong way.
Northwest.
Yeah, I can see it.
Wow. There's 2 domes in the city and somehow I managed to get them confused. That's fine. If you help the fighter, or if you help a certain fighter win, and let my friend know at the betting office beforehand, we can get enough money to buy back my ship.
I see.
How do we help him win? Or her win?
Well, I'd probably talk to them about that, but I have some ideas. This life isn't always above board in every way, so... Well, I'd recommend heading to the arena when you've got a minute, and chatting to maybe one of the fighters about making it a little easier for them to win.
Very well.
She winks.
We'll keep it in mind. And he says that with sort of a conspiring smile.
She sort of nods approvingly. Right, I'll leave you to get settled in. I'm in another inn a little further down the road with the crew, but I booked you 4 rooms upstairs. I hope that's all right. You know, it's a bit. It's probably not what you're used to, but it's not bad for inner city living.
All right.
So what were the rooms in this inn or in the other one?
In the inn.
Okay. That means she's paid for them as well. or just
Yes.
booked? Oh, sweet.
Free board.
Nice, nice.
Awesome.
Thanks, Auntie.
So I'll see you later.
Wait, do you know where I can get a bird? Exotic pet shops or bags of holding. Or did
Well-
Napoleon mention the bag of holding he saw?
Actually, as you are asking that, Napoleon says, "Well, I actually did see a place where they were selling bags of holding, but I would advise against doing business there. The shopkeeper is a bit of a type."
And you're not.
Boom. Well,
Well.
About the ship, about the birds even. There's an exotic grand bazaar down by the docks in the southeast corner of the city. Perhaps you could try there, lad?
That's like all the way on the other side of the city.
Wow.
To walk all the way back again.
I did tell you that becoming an adventurer would require some legwork, but this is not what I was thinking. She
Okay.
laughs,
We've-
sort of ruffles Dave's hair again, gives him eventually an affectionate hug that squeezes all of the air out of his lungs, and then gives a nod to the rest of you.
We've killed vampires and the undead over and over. I think we can manage a walk.
I mean, I have to like it though, but no, I do have got
Say
my dog.
walk or walk.
I can just rub my dog. That's what he's here for. So I don't have to.
Handy urban transport, large dog.
Yes.
So she sort of
Better than a horse.
smiles and gives a sort of mock salute and then heads out into the sort of busy street where she's quickly sort of enveloped by the noon crowd.
Alright, I definitely need a visit to this bazaar, guys.
Yeah, I want to go too. Is everyone going to
Bizarre
come or
or bazaar?
bazaar?
The
It's
bazaar.
probably a bit bizarre as well.
It is a bizarre bazaar.
Exactly.
I haven't defined that to be a very funny joke. The whole thing. Bizarre, bizarre.
It's also very
Bizarre,
close to the
bizarre,
guard
bizarre.
captaincy, Napoleon. Just thought I should mention that.
Minor inconveniences.
Well,
Pro
I want to
tip.
go there. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
let's head on down.
are we all going to go, or some people going to go to the arena, or?
Well,
I
you can all go there and then to the arena. It's not a long walk, you know.
yeah, I think we could probably
An hour
just
there and
all
back.
visit
Okay,
the thing.
I'll get Riker from like the stable thing. We can go.
Alright.
So Riker gives you a sort of affectionate lick across pretty much your entire face as
He
you
likes doing that.
wander over.
I take it if we've got rooms at the inn, we've also got stabling for the horses.
Yeah.
At the inn.
If anyone wants to drop off any like heavy stuff as well, they can drop that at the inn room.
Yeah, I am actually going to deposit some things, I think.
Right. So you go to the essentially like the bar counter, and a sort of older sort of human gentleman. You notice that one of his arms is essentially like a sort of thaumaturgic construct of like some sort of golemancy right up to his elbow, and he sort of nods at you and hands you a key each from the hooks behind him.
Alright.
Oh, this is at the bazaar, right?
This is at the hotel stall. Basically, you will have a key to your rooms now as well.
Alright.
I didn't know. I thought we were at the bazaar already. Sorry.
Egg,
Egg
your
briefly
microphone's
becomes a
doing
robot.
a bit strange.
Are you alright?
yeah, everyone's gone quite robot.
Everyone is now a robot.
Not for
I
me.
am a robot.
Beep boop.
Beep boop.
Nice.
Remember beat boop.
Yeah, so you're still at the inn if you want to drop anything off, or I don't know.
Well, actually, no. To be fair, I can still just carry around everything that I have, so there's no real problem there.
As long as the horse is kind of in an actual stable as part
yeah.
of the inn, so that's fine.
The innkeeper sort of calls his daughter, and she sort of leads the horses in and makes sure they're all stabled up to your specifications and stuff. Except for Riker, who Dave insists on coming with him. I'm assuming.
Can't be bothered to walk that far.
Fair enough.
I'm very small, okay? My legs are like half the length of everyone else's.
No, that is reasonable. That makes perfect sense. So, do you want to head over to the bazaar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you basically walk across town. You see the usual sorts of characters, you know, crossing the Great Bridge. You see sort of people with small stalls strapped to their backs selling bits and pieces, you know, like pies and, you know, like tourist maps, shit like that.
Have we eaten yet today?
You probably had like a sort of hasty fry-up as you were packing up the camp, you know, but
It's time for a pie, I think.
it's time for a pie.
Sigmund is going to buy a pie. How much is the pie?
Fair enough. It's like 2 copper. You know,
Is it
it's the kind of pie that
mystery
is...
meat pie.
It's 50-50 jelly and some sort of meat.
He's
2
chowing
copper
down.
or I'll cut my own throat.
You notice that the pork on the sign is spelt with a C and not with a K.
Wow.
Genuine pig product.
Sold by a man in a flat cap who sort of smiles approvingly at you and hands you this sort of small pie, like wrapped in brown paper, you know.
Yep, I shout out on the pie as we're walking. It's pretty good.
I got your
I-
Discworld
I
reference,
I
Egg.
did as well.
Oh, okay.
I may be reading Making Money right now,
Good, good.
which is good. I love moist.
No one acknowledged it. I was so sad.
My apologies. I wonder if Hal got it. Hal is hungry. Fair enough. So, yeah, you sort of wander through the crowds, sort of chewing on your pie a bit. You know, it is actually pretty good, you know.
Chewing on your pie, or is the pie chewing on you?
Ton ton ton.
It's sort of like a pineapple in the sense that, you know, the...
A pineapple, if you will.
Yes,
I
we
don't
both went there.
wow.
Oh yeah,
We both
definitely.
hate each other.
The
Hate-
acidity of the jelly sort of eats the inner lining of your mouth a little bit, but it still does taste pretty good.
Alright.
So, yeah, basically coming into the square of the bazaar, and you notice that the bazaar itself isn't really a closed structure so much as 3/4 of a large, tall, domed building, almost like an opera house or something,
Alright.
with the 4th quarter sort of open to the elements, like it's sort of spilled out into the square before it.
Right.
And the stalls, as far as the eye can see, you know.
Alright.
There's music playing, someone's got like a drum out, there's some elves playing fiddles, you know, it's busy.
Alright. Can I take a look around the bazaar if I can see any shops, like any butcher shops that sell meat and meat products?
Meat and/or meat products.
Yes,
You could fuse into Gilhelm.
definitely.
Yeah, you can roll perception.
Alright. Perception. 18, alright. That's pretty good.
So yeah, you notice that there's like the kind of sort of butchers that has like a pig like sort of spit roasting on a metal sort of spit at the front of the shop, and just random lengths of meat hanging. And it's run by a sort of like bandana dwarven man. Like, he's got a surprisingly short beard for a dwarf to keep it all hygienic, and he's wearing gloves up to his elbows. He sort of nods at you as you enter.
I'm all
Right.
thinking.
Gloves are very hygienic. You need to be when you've got a beard that is 15 feet long.
This is true. This is very true. Alright, so I am going to ask Butcher, what have you got?
I've got what you see. We got some venison in from the northern reaches just this afternoon. We've got plenty of the city's meats. We've got some fish from further down water. Plenty. What were you looking for?
All right, I was looking for. Well, firstly, I was wondering if you had any big haunches of venison, of beef, or something of the like.
I've got both. What were you looking for? Dinner
Yeah.
party.
You can,
We get a lot of that kind in here.
yeah, you could say that.
Trying to get in touch with your local tradespeople and the like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, how about you do me that venison?
Say when. He sort of takes this. It's literally like an entire deer. He lifts it up with both hands and sort of dumps it down onto a desk. And he sort of begins to trail over it with a cleaver. Say when.
All right, give me give me 2 legs and a big rib steak.
He does so in a admittedly quite gory minute and a half.
All right, Apollyon just looks onto it, not flinching at all.
Well,
Wow.
Dave is like, no. He's thinking
Oh
of,
god, why?
thinking of his baby one at home, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh god. Why is the deer even... nope, not going there.
I actually know why the deer is called Dwayne Johnson.
Dag Theo's fault.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen that short film.
Oh, it's the one where he plays fucking Bambi, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Now my deer is called Dwayne the Buck Johnson.
Dwayne fuck that is really good, actually.
Eventually you get
You're
a large sort of... essentially like a burlap sack containing these sort of bits. And they're individually sort of wrapped up inside to try and stop anything oozing.
Alright.
Corpse bag.
Alright.
Some extra HP,
Alright.
I suppose. If it
Thanks
works,
for
that
that,
is.
and I'm sort of looking around
He
the
sort of
shop.
Smiles warmly. That'll be... oh, do you need anything else?
Yeah, I was wondering if you
He
got...
sort of slips his cleaver back into his belt. What were you looking for?
I was looking if you had any, any poultry. Especially anything big, if you got geese or something of the like.
Geese is... we tend to get those sold out in the morning times, you know, gentry folk sending their servants in to pick things up for roast dinners, but I might have a little one in the back if you'd like it.
A small goose.
Yeah, you can...
Comes back with a mongoose. No, I'm kidding.
Mongoose. Wow.
That's the
No,
last thing that
you can
Gilligan's temperament needs.
take a look.
Goose.
Take a look for the biggest sort of foal that you got.
Right. He sort of comes... He goes into the back and there's sort of some clattering and, you know, like cool cabinets opening. And eventually he comes back with sort of a fairly young emu.
An
Like
emu.
tucked under one arm.
What, it's alive?
No, like the corpse of a fairly young emu.
Oh, right, okay. I got excited for a moment.
Like, it's probably... It's taller than Dave. It's probably taller than Glamvar as well.
So
like-
Apollyon sort of mumbles to himself, "Well, bloody hell, emus can't fly. What I got to do with that?"
Emus, did you just say?
It'd give him really long legs.
Actually, all right. You can do me. Actually, you know what, Butcher? I've changed my mind. Do me like three forels, and then I'm good.
Pharrells? What?
Ah, wait. I think I might have wrongly translated a type of fish.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
What?
we're all guilty of that every so often. Don't worry.
Pharrell fish.
Yeah. No. Let me just take a look.
Oh, no, I typed in Pharrell like the
It's
musician.
a trout. It's a trout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were like
Extra
three
skill.
trouts.
I like that you mistranslated trout to popular musician who did
Technically,
Uptown Funk.
fish would be sold at a different stall
I don't think
than
you did do
the red meat, but
Probably, but depends on the fish. Like, some
Maybe
fish-
maybe this guy's just like, you know, really.
he's diversified his business.
Yeah.
He has like a massive like meat industry, all sorts
Yeah.
of meat.
Yeah.
So he sort of tugs a couple of trouts from like a big thick hook
Mhm.
and sort of sets them down on the desk, adding them to the sort of big old sack of meat.
Alright, that'll be it.
Are there any vegetarians watching, by the way?
Nah.
I don't know. Hellhounds, are you vegetarian?
I don't remember hellhounds to be vegetarian.
Yes,
We
she
must
is.
now
She's
wait-
never mentioned it.
We must now wait 5 minutes for Stroms
Whoops.
to catch up.
So yeah, he sets the sack down and sort of says, "Right, that'll be 10 gold pieces then, lad."
Alright, here we go. And I just give him 10 gold pieces.
Excellent. He sort of takes them and shunts them into one of his belt pouches. Pleasure doing business with you. Hope to see you around again. Have you
Yes.
recently moved into the city?
Yeah, we're making a bit of a stop here on our way to a business venture, if you will.
Oh, I see, yeah. Getting in touch with the Thieves Guild, are you? He sort of nods approvingly.
Just so completely just blasé about it. Ah, you're obviously criminals.
After probably unpaid and everything. You know,
I'm
when
I'm
you're
going to I'm
Well,
going to ask
As
him.
I said, he's paid all his dues, so it's fine.
Mhm. I'm going to ask him. Got a thieves guild around here? Do you?
Yeah, of course. I thought all major cities had him. Had at
Probably.
least a branch, you know. Temporary office with the skeleton crew.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm up to date with all my dues, so that's not going to be an issue.
All right. As you wish. Well, I think I'll be on my way then.
Have a good day, lad.
All right. I like this man.
He says it as it is.
Yeah.
Well, he's a dwarf and a butcher. Both are pretty sort of matter of fact.
I never met a butcher who wasn't really, really nice. Like they all seem to be like the nicest people.
I reckon it's just that, like,
They get all their rage
butchery is a
out.
fairly sort of dying trade. So, like, if you go to, like, your local community butchers, they must be hella happy to see you at like, all times.
Ones I've seen, nice people.
Butchers, approved by PATHCO.
Yes.
Right, anyway. Would anyone like to do anything else in the bazaar?
Well,
Exotic pets, you know me.
Feel free to roll perception.
I'm now gonna get like a really lousy score. Perception. Beep. Oh, nice.
Looking for cats, are you?
No, birds.
No,
I'm
perception,
thinking-
get it?
Oh, I see.
I might
I
also
was
say, I
like,
think
that is the worst idea ever. He has like 1,000 birds.
it's got one.
And a deer who probably
deer.
don't get on well with... Oh yeah, what's her name has the other birds, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Medette.
No, the innkeeper.
Oh.
The mayor tender, he's got them. He's got one anyway.
Oh, does he?
Might have both of them.
Beats me.
He's got like the normal pretty one, and like Medette's got that's got like 9 eyes.
Oh yeah.
everything Medette owns has like 9 eyes.
Technically, that was Cassandra's stuff, not Medette's. Okay, she
That's
just,
true.
Inherited it.
Multi-eyed animals. It's a really weird running gag that we have going on.
It's your fault.
I'm not sure it is, but alright.
When did it start? Was it the horse?
It must have started with Felicity.
No, it was
Felicity-
Penelope.
Penelope, of course. Felicity is, of course, her brother.
Yes. And Candy is the bird.
Candy is, of course, the bird. Anyway, so yeah, you sort of wander for a little while, and you know, it's sort of hard to look around because you don't have the best vantage point.
Is it good?
Yep, I lift up Dave.
Eventually, yeah, you
around.
climb up Sigmund's shield like a ladder, using the sort of spikes on his shield.
And stands one foot on his shoulder, the other on his head.
Yeah, nice.
Like a goat.
With
Wow.
like a telescope and everything.
That's
And
great.
eventually you notice a sort of tucked away stall, sort of wedged between two other stalls. And it's like a tent, but you just see like a hanging cage hanging out of one of the doors.
Small
Or
gasp.
folds, I suppose. So upon entering it, it's sort of quite a dim space with sort of varying sort of hoots and sort of cores and things like that. And basically, as you enter, about 15 eyes fixate on you.
Only 15.
And then all of them begin talking. It's like parrots, it's cockatoos, it's species you don't even recognize, birds of all colors, and all of them are just saying random shit that they've picked up from the marketplace.
Oh. I didn't really want a
Fantastic.
talking bird.
Are they all
And,
birds?
Yes.
Alright, everything is birds.
Yep.
I suppose there were any other animal stores
Yeah.
other than the butchers.
You can definitely have a look.
I
Butchers
will.
are not generally known as animal stalls.
I shall roll perception to see if there are other animal stores.
Ex-animal stores. But I was thinking of birds.
This one is full of creepy birds. Next stall.
There we go, 24.
So, yeah. You sort of leave quickly. The bird's still sort of shouting away various things. Yeah, you notice that there's actually one of the shops around the edge of the square is a large pet shop. And
Right.
you
What-
enter and sort of a bell rings and a portly gentleman in sort of flowing silks and stuff sort of runs towards you. Move, move, move! He sort of pushes you out of the way and shuts the door again just as a puppy tries to leap at it. Careful, they'll escape.
Is it just Napoleon there at the moment, or is it everyone?
No, I'm saying everyone's there. So
David's
he's
delighted at the
pushed his
puppy.
way through the entire party, shoving them this way and that. Glanvar almost crashed into a tortoise. Things like
Hey, is this where my dog came from? Or is that somewhere else in the city?
your dog came from a sort of breeding kennel that was probably more to the outskirts of the city, but
What kind of dog is it?
it's like a sheepdog style thing, you know, the kind of sheepdog that's made from about 15 different breeds, and still manages to look just a little bit dopey.
It's so cute. I don't need any more dogs.
And yes, there's this sort of immaculately dressed gentleman.
In a pet shop? How did he manage that?
I have literally no idea. I'm assuming that the clothing is enchanted. And he's got a sort of bow tie on, he's got a sort of immaculately tailored mustache, and he sort of smiles at you. Good morning to you, young sir. He sort of ducks down and motions to shake your hand.
I shake it back.
Nice to see you, nice to see you. How can I help you today?
I don't know, I'm just looking at animals.
Fair enough, feel free to peruse. He takes the puppy from you and sort of heads off towards the counter, setting the puppy down next to him.
Right, I am. Can I actually address this man for a moment?
Yes,
You're
of course.
repulsed by the cuteness.
So I'm gonna ask this man. Say, pal, you've got any I have a friend who's who's a fan of exotic animals. He likes to have a bit of a dangerous collection, if you will. It's sort of his thing. Have you got anything of that ilk? Something that might be poisonous or like that?
Well, we have a selection of snakes in the tank towards the back, but you must be careful with those. If it's anything more exotic you're looking for, I'm sure I can rustle something up for the right price.
Well, this friend of mine, he happens to be fond of things like scorpions or anything with stingers. Really, it's sort of he likes that sort of thing.
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, if you're in the city for a couple of days, perhaps by the day after tomorrow, one of my contacts might bring such a thing in.
All right, very well. And what kind of price would be conjoined to this?
I am actually going to have a look at how much animals cost. Pathfinder, everybody. The good thing is you don't have to remember the price of anything because it's probably on the animal list.
This is why I like playing online rather than face to face. You have to flick through 500 books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Holy shit, I'm not actually sure if this has scorpions on it.
You must
I'm
have.
somewhat surprised.
Yeah, it must do.
I found snail kite, that's kind of weird.
What?
What?
I don't know. Scorpion green sting. Well, I'm sure I can get you something like that for, perhaps 20 gold pieces.
20 gold, you say, and a green sting. You don't
Yes.
happen to have anything bigger, do you?
Second, like pubs are like bigger than a scorpion. What? What are you looking for here? Like a manticore or something?
Well,
we don't stock those anymore.
no. I'm still looking for a scorpion, just a big scorpion.
Dire
Well,
scorpion?
that might
I'm always
cost
looking at the
slightly
giant
more.
scorpion page in case you can't see.
Yeah, a dire scorpion would be like something that I want.
I could probably summon one of those at next level.
Well, actually, that. Oh, next level. Well, then we still need to wait a
I
little
could
bit.
do spiders.
It
I might
won't
be able to
work
do
anyway, as
scorpions.
far as I can tell, just because of how.
Actually, you can summon those spiders, right?
Yeah, I could summon a giant spider, but they
Huh.
disappear after a while.
Oh well.
So you would not be able to integrate one into Killhound.
Oh, that'd
Damn
be
it.
bad.
Damn it.
Well, I'm
At least
sure
not.
I could.
At least not for very long. No,
I'm sure I could find something along the lines
I
of
can
dire
summon a giant
scorpion.
scorpion at 4th level summoning spell. There you go.
Yeah.
Always off that though.
Do me a dire scorpion if you can.
I'm sure I could, for perhaps 500 gold pieces.
500 now. That, my kind sir, is a lot. How would you settle for? How would you settle for 450?
I can see you are a canny sir, but my sources require their own take, of course. I will settle on 475.
Can I do? Can I use my?
You can try and roll diplomacy if you want to try and bring the price down.
Actually, no. You know what? You know what I'm going to do?
Fight him.
No, I am going
Bare
to.
knuckles fight with a pet shop owner.
Is it? Are you gonna brain drain him? Or?
No. Well, I don't need his information really, so that doesn't help. But what I am going to do is I am going to use my +2 bonus on an intimidate check cantrip. So I'm gonna roll concentration for that, I guess.
Intimidating a pet shop owner.
PATHCO!
Wow!
Truly
Wow!
great heroes.
Wow!
Critical fail.
All right,
dear.
then I'll do it without the modifier.
So he sort of looks blankly at you as you stand before him and try and sort of murmur eldritch incantations under your breath.
I am
Is
going.
everything all right there?
All right, I am going to brush aside my hair so that the like the symbol, the brand on my forehead becomes visible, and I'm going to say, "You don't want to know what this means. I think you want me to pay 450." Wow, 7 again.
Well, that is quite an interesting tattoo. Is that fashionable amongst the elves nowadays? It's been quite some time since I've spent some time in Adrev. He sort of squints at your brand.
Apollyon is just gonna look sourly at him and say, "Immensely fashionable."
Oh, good to know.
Alright, I am just
So,
gonna.
that will be 475 gold pieces.
Alright, fine. Deal.
Of course. Pleasure doing business with you, my friend. He shakes your hand.
Although I would expect that I'm only paying this when I can actually see the wares.
Of course. Please do come in tomorrow morning. I'm sure my contacts will have retrieved you something truly impressive by then.
I most certainly will. And you know what I'm actually going to do? I am going to attempt to brain drain him for the intelligence of who and where his contacts are exactly.
How about your last concentration roll went? Maybe you shouldn't be so eager.
Well, the only thing I can do is try.
Okay.
Alright, so what do I roll exactly for this again?
Concentration, perhaps?
Ah, yes, I guess.
And I think he probably has to roll a will save.
Yeah, will save.
Will strive save.
There we
Whoa.
go!
Chances are it's probably not going to work.
What was that? A critical
Okay.
fail and then a critical success.
I don't know, 1 in 400.
Wow.
So you find out essentially that his contacts are these sort of fairly accomplished mages and sort of game hunters whose whole strategy is to dimension door out to sort of far lands and take the animals live and then just dimension door back. And you happen to know that they're in the city now and that he'll have them visiting him towards the evening time today.
Alright. Because this is like a critical success or a critical win, if you will. Is there anything else that I learn from this man? Anything else that might be interesting to me?
Just because it's fresh in his head, you have a fairly comprehensive list of what in his shop is venomous.
Right. Which is?
There's a couple of sort of viper type things in the back. He's got some sort of poison dart type frogs hanging out in one of the tanks against the wall.
Alright.
Things like that.
Very well. I'm looking to see if I have anything that might look like a pot or a jar here. Doesn't look like it though.
So for the rest of you, this man's eyes just sort of glaze for a second mid-sentence.
Yeah.
As Polly just sort of weaves his funky magic mojo.
Alright, no, I'm just gonna leave. And I might come back later with a jar or something to steal.
Fair enough. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to get done here?
Are there any
Dave?
birds here, or should I go back to the
Yeah, there's a
bird?
couple of birds hanging on like things.
Kind of birds.
There are a couple of canaries which are sort of whistling. You're really testing how many birds I know.
I'm looking for cool birds, like birds of prey.
Cool
or
birds!
Magic birds, like Candy.
Magic cool birds!
Yeah.
Getting a bird of prey while you still have, like, small birds might not be
Candy's
the
at
best.
home, okay?
Magic birds aren't terribly common. I mean, generally you'd probably have to go to a wizard for something like that, but he has like he sort of looks you over and says, "Well, you seem to be the sort of you seem to be the kind of person who might be able to handle it." But and he sort of leads you into the back room where there's a sort of rather unimpressed looking hawk hanging out on a pedestal.
You look the kind of person that could handle this giant vicious bird of prey, he said to the tiny halfling.
Yeah, it's like half the size of you. It's like it's a big bird, and it's sort of like a falcon type thing, you know.
He's still a bit dazed by the brain drain.
Yeah, basically. And yeah, the sort of hawk-like bird sort of clicks its beak at you a little bit.
Actually,
And,
how does the party react to Apollyon just brain draining this poor man with eldritch
I think
magic?
Dave was probably distracted by the puppy.
Dave is busy like talking to the puppy on the counter, which is like playing and nibbling at his hair and stuff like that.
Pretty much.
How about Sigmund and Glanvar?
Rest of the party, how do you react to Apollyon just brain draining this random man?
Well, it's... What does it look like when the brain drain is happening?
Their eyes sort of glaze for a second.
Well, to be fair, I think it
Apollyon
might
is-
be a little bit more violent than that, as in the actual skill thing, it says that they do take damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wait, let me just...
Okay, so they sort of like twitch a little bit as Apollyon sort of mouths under his breath.
Here we go, so... Those who fail this save are racked with pain, taking 1d4 points of damage.
So they have a nosebleed as well, I don't know.
and to sort through the jumble of stolen thoughts and memories, etc.
I think Sigmund he's seen Apollyon do this before, so he'll kind of interject and just go, are you as he starts to stumble and feel bad, are you okay there? You seem to be seems to be a nasty a chill going through the air. You just lost your balance there for a second, and he'll just try and get in the way and make it slightly less obvious that Apollyon's doing a combative spell against the shopkeeper.
Yes, quite a cool breeze in the air. Anyway, back to this hawk. So, what do you think, my young friend?
It's nice, but it doesn't seem quite right for me.
No, very well, very well.
So
well,
I'll go back
could
to the
you
bird
be
shop.
tempted to purchase it for a reduced amount? I mean, normally a
Why?
bird like this would probably be selling for around 400 gold pieces. I could probably sell it to you for perhaps 50.
That's awfully generous.
You can roll.
Sense motive?
Yeah, if you'd like.
David's not a particularly suspicious person, but I am. Got 11.
So something doesn't sit right, but he is offering you a. Oh, it does actually say here that hawks would cost 40. Okay,
Oh
in
wow,
that case,
yeah.
then he's
In that
offering it
case,
for, like,
it does sound
he's
like a
offering
bit
it for
more
like
normal.
15 gold pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, a bird like this would probably cost, I don't know, 50 gold pieces, and I am offering it for...
Can I do a knowledge nature to see if I can tell anything off about this poor bird?
Yeah, of course.
Come on, Dave.
Yeah, it's wearing one of
Nice.
those little sort of
Hoods.
bird hats right now.
Bird hats.
Bird hat.
It's all good.
It looks very unhappy. Like, pissed off is the word that you'd probably use. Like, as far as you can tell, the clicking of the beak and stuff is, I really don't want to be here. Why are there all these assholes around me? It's not an impressed bird.
I kind of feel bad for it now. It reminds me of Napoleon.
Wow, thanks.
Maybe. I want to look at the other bird shop as well.
Well, very well. I'm sure I can be persuaded to keep him here until the end of the day. I mean, he is a very popular bird, of course. He looks shifty-eyed.
Right. Why is this bird so angry?
It's a hawk, and it is in the back room of a rather small shop.
They're not particularly like strong as animals go, but then again, I can summon like dire wolves and stuff. So again, yeah, I'll think about it. But
Fair enough. Would anyone else like to do anything in here?
No, I'm good for the
Pet shop.
yeah, I'm good for the pet shop.
Like, the rest of you are
got
getting-
enough pet food, so yeah.
I'll get bored
Right.
with me and Polly.
I am just going to look around the pet shop and see where the mages that are bringing in these animals might enter the shop, or where they might, deliver the goods, if you will.
You notice that there's a back door. That would probably be where such supplies are driven in,
All right.
like a sort of little corridor leading.
Can I make a perception roll to see from where it would be advisable to stage an ambush
Yes,
in
of
this
course.
location? 19.
So yeah, you sort of poke your head out the back door, and you notice that it's a rather tight, sort of cramped alleyway, the kind that you're not really used to fighting in. But there are some low roofs on all sides,
All right,
bar
that's
the actual
good.
shop itself, which is another couple of stories high. But
All right. So here's my plan. The mages will be
are
delivering.
you telling this to the rest of the party, by the way?
No, I'm telling this to Gilhelm.
Listen, unintelligent animal that doesn't know what I'm saying at all.
I wouldn't call him an animal. It's an insult to animals.
Oh, thanks. But no, I think that... no, wait, you know what? Actually, no, I'm not going to say anything. But I am going to take a look around the bazaar and see if there are any, like... see if I can see, like, where the a little bit more shady shops are, like the ones where they sell weird contraband magic stuff and the like. Or-
Fair enough. Do you mind if Sigmund or Glenvar has a turn first?
No, of course, go ahead, please.
Sigmund, do you have anything that you'd like to purchase?
Not really in this store. I mean, when Sigmund's been walking around...
In the bazaar in general.
Oh, in the bazaar in general?
Yes.
yeah, sort of
The
something else I
idea
wanted
of
to
the
do.
whole of PATHCO having tiny animal companions is a fairly cute concept, but...
I think he'll browse around. He'll try and find out what the prices are for enchantment, if there's any enchantment shops around.
Okay, I need to find out the price for enchantment. Roll perception to see if you can see a sort of...
Specifically enchanting armor and weapons.
Yes.
Perception you wanted.
Whap. Yeah, there's a couple, like, there's the usual sort of, like, fake magic shops, like Hedge Wizards, and there's a fortune teller or two. But, as well as that, there's, yeah, there's a sort of tent, and, it's a surprisingly sort of elaborate tent. It's almost like a little tower at the top. And, there's smoke billowing from it. Like it's almost the cross between like a forge and like some sort of magic emporium as well.
Cool. Well, Sigmund will head in there and like try and find out a bit of information. But you can get back to me when you actually look up the things to tell me.
Look up all the things!
Yeah.
I do actually have a vague notion of how to do this now, so we can do this now, I think.
Okay. He's basically just looking how much it would cost to get his Masterwork shield upgraded to a +1 shield.
So, you basically go in and there's a sort of, it's a woman, she's sort of fairly elderly, and she's sort of, she's got an anvil, but she doesn't appear to be using it to work metal. Instead, there's sort of fire beneath it, and she's sort of chanting over it, and the blade is actually glowing somewhat. She sort of looks up as you come in. Just a second. Eventually, the sword sort of spins in midair and then clatters down again, and it now glows faintly. She sets it off the anvil. Good morning, young man. How can I help?
Ah, good morning, madam. I come here as a representative of PATHCO for all of your dungeon finding needs at a reasonable price. We were actually looking to potentially purchase some enchantment for our equipment, and I'm shopping around, seeing what the prices are like.
Well, I'm assuming, are you talking about your mace? Your
I'm
armor?
talking of my shield.
Of course, my apologies. Well, for a shield of that nature, I can't see why it couldn't cost more than, perhaps 2,000 gold pieces? She sort of turns it slowly in her hands, sort of squints at it a little bit.
I see. Oh, that's interesting. I thought 2,000 was more for the weapons enchantment. I always thought shields were slightly cheaper, but it's always good to know.
Was that a humble hint to the GM? Because I couldn't find the fucking thing for magic armor. My apologies.
Slightly.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going by
no,
the numbers for magic weapons.
No, shields are cheaper than that. But,
I didn't realise they were different. Just a second.
That's all right.
Pathfinder, everybody. No one knows how to do anything all the time.
We can leave Sigmund here if you want to go to someone else, because I've got the sheet up now. I'm assuming if they're giving standard prices there.
Yeah, give me a private message.
Yeah, it's cool. I haven't got enough money to do it. I was just checking what the prices were.
Oh, fair enough. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
More money than you have.
More money than you have.
Oh, how do you know how much money I have? None of your business.
None of your business. I sense that you spent it all of potatoes on another module.
The tent suddenly, like, vanishes.
Leave Sigmund asking around here, and someone else can take whatever they need to do.
Fair enough. Anyone else? Glamvar, do you need anything from the bazaar?
I don't think so. I mean, he's pretty got himself
Well, he is
set for
pretty, but that's
arrows.
beside the point.
He's pretty much set for arrows.
Okie doke.
That had reminded me of something else I wanted to do. I want to see that anyone that sold like actually how am I doing for arrows at the moment? Like interesting like arrows. Like I've got the fiery ones, which I can't pronounce properly.
Oh, like the Hawkeye arrows. Fair enough.
Incendiary arrows.
Yeah, Hawkeye arrows.
I got it.
Nailed it. Haggers, you sure there's nothing you'd like to get from around here?
The only thing Glanville really needs is arrows, and he's got plenty.
If you're sure. Well, is there anything else you'd like to do with your time?
Nothing springs to mind, if I'm honest.
Fair enough. Okie doke. Well, you could go looking for information if you'd like. Ask around if you want.
Accompany Dave to the bird shop.
Say it again, sorry?
You could accompany Dave to the bird shop. Sure, that'll be fun for everyone.
What do you want to do, Haggers?
Nothing. I've nothing I need to do.
Well, want and need are entirely different. But
And I want to do either, for that matter.
fair enough, your call. Okay, back to Dave then, I guess.
Bird shop.
Bird shop. What, the creepy one where all the birds were talking?
Yeah, there might be some which don't talk.
Fair enough. So, you head in there, and most of the boards, chatting at you. There's sort of a cockatiel that is insisting on whistling at you in a rather unhelpful manner every single time you move. And, yeah, eventually a sort of woman notices you and jumps about a mile in the air. Oh, God, sorry, sorry, you don't hear customers enter with this crowd talking away. She sort of pats her chest. Oh, how can I help you?
I'm looking for birds. Cool.
Well,
birds.
you've come to the right place. We specialize in that. I don't know if it's obvious. What kind of bird were you looking for?
Birds of prey, like cool magic birds. If you've got any, that'd be neat.
I'm sure we have a few towards the back of the shop, yes, if you'd be willing to accompany me.
He does that.
Yeah, fair enough. So she sort of leads you back, and there's a couple of more like ornate-looking cages and stuff, and yeah, a couple of different birds sort of blink at you. One of them appears to be coughing tiny puffs of smoke and things like that, you know. You can roll perception on the burbs if you'd like.
I will do that.
I will
Perception.
do that.
Bird perception. 17.
Perception. So, yeah, you can tell there's like a reddish one that appears to be burping up, not necessarily flames, but there's definitely smoke. There's a sort of smaller bluish one that, that sort of flaps its wings and occasionally sort of decants feathers that sort of softly glow. And there's also another sort of larger blue one that's sort of... You can't notice any immediate effect with it, but as you draw closer you can hear a sort of soft humming.
Can I ask the shopkeeper, so what do these do exactly?
Well, these are all fairly young specimens. The Mages Guild only allow them to be sold at a young age when there's a chance that their powers can't be fully tapped into yet. They need to be trained, you see. But as far as I can tell, little copper here, and she sort of strokes the red one a little bit, and it sort of tries to nibble at her fingers. As far as I can tell, he probably has great potency to unleash smoke at some point perhaps.
That's very specific. Thank you.
You're welcome. As for the little blue one, her feathers seem to have great potency in sort of magical compounds and the like. Do you understand? And,
Do I? I don't
yeah,
as a player.
basically,
With Dave.
it's a decent crafting ingredient for potions and shit, basically. And
It's cool, but I'm not an alchemist.
the larger blue one, well, as far as I can tell, only certain people who approach her hear the humming.
I can hear the humming. What does it mean?
I have no idea.
I'm
Can you
intrigued.
hear the humming now? And they sort of both, you sort of both walk closer.
Can I hear the humming?
Yes.
I can hear the humming.
Well, that is curious. I cannot.
What are your mysteries, bird? I say to the bird.
The humming sort of, the bird sort of blinks at you, and the hum does actually grow a little bit louder.
Is it annoying, or is
No,
it...
it's not like an uncomfortable noise. It's not even like... It's almost tune-like. Like the bird is singing, but its mouth is closed.
I kind of want this bird sitter because I've got no idea what it does. And I want to find out.
Fair enough. So she sort of notices you looking at it. Well,
How big is it?
it's probably about the size of a seagull.
That's just fairly big, but not massive.
It's like a medium-sized bird, I guess. It's smaller than the hawk.
Okay.
And, she sort of follows your gaze. Oh, so you were thinking about the larger one?
Yeah, does it look like you could be trained to, like, attack people?
I'm not entirely sure about that, but I'm also not entirely sure what its abilities are.
Consider me intrigued. How much would it be? What does it eat?
It is a bird. It eats seeds and the like. Have you looked after a bird before?
Yeah, I've got one at home. It's been looked after by one of my friends at the moment. But some birds eat like other birds.
As far as I can tell, this does not eat other birds. When they were younger, they were all in the same cage together, and no violence occurred. So
That's good. Did you know that some baby owls will eat their siblings?
yes, I got a shipment in a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Emphasis on the past tense.
So how much? So the hummingbird just eats like not a literal hummingbird, but the bird which hums.
I am the bird which hums.
But it's not a hummingbird, is it?
It is fairly literally a hummingbird, actually.
Yeah.
It hums. It's not like it's humming because of its wings.
No, it's not. It's like
It is a
500
mentally
times the
hummingbird,
size.
but not a physically hummingbird.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
Well, I could happily give you him for 200 gold pieces, I'm sure.
How much was that bag of holding again? Do I want a bag of holding more than I want a mysterious bird, which I don't know what the hell it does?
2.5 grand in the wiki, and they were 20% off last time you went to the Scrying Ass Magical Emporium.
250. What's 20% off 2,000?
I have no idea. Hang on. 0.8 times 2,500. 2,000. Well, that's fucking convenient.
How much was the bird?
200.
I could afford both and have 36 gold pieces left.
Well, that's all you need. You can do a lot with 30 gold pieces.
36.
Oh, okay. You could do even more.
I could. Can I even reach the cage? Can I like hold my hand out to the bird and see if it does anything?
So you sort of slip your hand between the bars, and you feel a little warmer for a second. Like, it's not an unpleasant feeling. It's like oh, okay. It's like the warm feeling you get when you think of hub.
Oh, I like this bird. I will purchase this bird, and like a bag of seeds or whatever.
Fair enough. So you pay like 200 and like. She throws the bag of seed in just because it's a fairly expensive bird.
Okay. So
And
me down 200 gold pieces.
the warm feeling sort of remains as you walk along with this bird on your shoulder. And
Introduce the bird to the rest of my party. Look, it's a bird.
What's its name?
I don't know. I need to find out what it does first. It hums.
Currently, Sigmund, you can sort of hear a very, very faint humming.
Oh, okay.
Glamvar, you can probably hear it quite faintly. Apollyon, you hear nothing.
Alright.
Can it detect goodness? Or something like that? Okay, Glamour's quite a good guy. So Sigmund.
Tumbleweed. No, I'm kidding.
Tumbleweed. Wow.
Maybe we'll find out.
I like
On the
how...
next episode of PATHCO! And that's the cliffhanger.
We've got half
No,
an
no.
hour left.
Bird
Alright.
doesn't hum.
So, can we
Oh,
now,
arrows.
take another
Arrows.
look around the, bazaar?
Yeah.
Yes, you may have another look around the bazaar.
Right, in that
Which is
case,
indeed quite strange.
first of all, I will, take a look around and see if there are any, shops which sell, like hoods and cloaks and that sort of thing.
Like a tailor's or more specialized, like adventure and gear style hoods and stuff.
Yeah, look for the adventuring style thing.
You should get a pocketed scarf. They are way cool. Says Dave, stroking his pocketed scarf.
Now,
So, you go forth into, like, essentially, a sort of fairly well-to-do shop, the windows haven't been broken that much and have sort of been patched up fairly regularly, things like that, The glass is only 4 different colors, which is actually pretty low for Scum porn.
alright.
And as you enter, this sort of quite tall elven man sort of nods at you. He's wearing more or less like sort of typical roguish gear, like a sort of scarf and a sort of leather breastplate and sort of, quite loose flowing clothing.
Alright.
And he sort of smiles warmly at you. Well met, brother.
Greetings.
Greetings on yourself.
I'm related. I like the bird with the hat. Drawing.
Is there a bird in a hat?
There's a bird with a hat.
Oh, I see, because of the bird hat.
I was wondering if you had any form of hood in store, a hood or a cloak with hood, of course.
Well, of course. We could easily accommodate either. What manner of cloak were you looking for? We have a particularly interesting winged cloak prototype that I was given just a few days before. Or merely sort of decorative cloaks. We have sort of more dress cloaks.
What exactly is this winged cloak that you are talking about?
Essentially, when one is falling, the theory goes that it expands and prevents the loss of life.
I see.
In real life, a guy tried to invent a cloak like that and killed himself trying
Yeah,
to.
he jumped off the Eiffel Tower because he was a dumb bastard.
Rest in peace, Bacon. I think it was. Was it Francis Bacon?
Rip, Mr. Bacon.
I saw it in Horrible Histories, so it must be true.
No, I was actually looking for something that would be adept at concealing the face and the figure.
A mask?
Yes, a mask or a hood.
Well,
Anything
I
like
could
that.
easily offer you either. What were you looking for? What would you prefer? We have masks. We have, and you saw holding up various sort of masks from a drawer, like goggled masks, almost like breathing apparatus style masks. A couple of sort of Oni style masks with creepy faces. And he's also showing you like hooded cloaks of all kinds, all varieties.
Well, I would like to purchase a hooded cloak, in fact.
Well, that
Possibly
would easily be 3 gold pieces.
a black one, if you will.
Yes, of course. Black with grey inlet, or would you prefer just the black?
Just black.
Of course, my apologies, sir.
And
he sort of starts packing that up as you continue to talk.
in terms of masks, I like what you have. However, would it be possible to make a specific request, if you will?
I could talk to my craftsperson, although it would add some to the cost.
Well, if we look at these Oni style masks here that you have, sort of things that should inspire fear in the enemy, or at least in a way do that. I would like something of this ilk. However, I would like to be present very clearly on the mask. This symbol, and I brush aside my hair and I show him like the brand of the evil book.
Oh, how startling!
What's the point of
What's an
getting a mask
unusual
which
brand?
looks the same as your face?
Well, he still wants it to look creepier than his own face, I think.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that even possible?
Yes.
Wow, thanks.
Wow, rude. I could probably get something like that done for 50 gold pieces, carved out of wood, of course.
Very well. Deal.
Jolly good, sir. So that will be 53 gold pieces overall. And
Alright.
I'll talk to my craftsperson about it. Perhaps we can have that ready by tomorrow morning.
Very well.
He sort of shakes your hand and takes your gold.
Alright.
And hands you back a sort of nicely wrapped cloak, essentially.
Alright.
It's a very, very light package, you know.
Alright, that's good. Then I'm going to just leave. And what I am actually also going to look for is if I can see whether there are any mercenaries around. And in addition to that, probably like have a look for a bit more the shady part of the bazaar, where the more, contraband things are sold, like black magic and things like that, and mercenaries and that sort of thing.
Roll local knowledge.
All right. Knowledge local.
The elf kind of looks like Frisk from Undertale.
The manly elf. Chris Rodto.
Manly elf Frisk from Undertale. It's my
Yeah.
new favorite AU.
I haven't played Undertale, so I would
No.
know
It's
how
pretty
accurate
good.
that is.
Basically, Frisk is the main character.
Yeah,
I know.
So yeah, from what you can tell, like from what you've garnered from the city and what Tilda has told you and things like that, the mercenaries tend to hang out towards the docks just because that's more where their business is more required.
Right.
So you'd probably have to go a couple of streets over in order to find such a place.
And how about like contraband markets and like black markets with magic and like occult things?
From what you can tell from your previous dealings with such traders and things, it's sort of like a tramp speak. Based on what's on the sign, there are certain engravings that let you know that you might be able to purchase certain illicit elements if you went into such a shop.
Alright. Well, in that case, can I look for any shops which sell items related to necromancy and to, well, golem making, and just general, like, necromantic tidbits?
So, necromancy in Scumport, it's not outlawed, but it's not particularly thrilled about just because people don't enjoy burying their great uncle and then seeing him walking around on the street. So, you essentially head down into like a little alleyway sort of stall, just off the street enough, and the sign above says fine magical and post-existential wares.
Right. Sounds good.
And basically going inside, yeah, it's a sort of stall covered with a sort of rough tarp. And there's a man working away on something. Like, he's sort of sewing something which he quickly slips beneath the desk. You see it has fingers, whatever it was.
Right.
And it's a sort of dark-skinned elf with a sort of thick mask across his face. And he sort of nods at you.
Alright. I'm going to say, hello, brother. Is it true that at this particular stall I could purchase items um, of the post-vital kind?
He lifts his mask for a second, and you spot the sort of familiar, almost curved features of a drow. You are not a brother of mine, but I'll sell to you.
Alright, a drow.
First drow we ever encountered.
Yeah. What are drows exactly, anyway?
They're
Dark elves.
essentially, elves with sort of black or dark grey skin, usually white-ish hair, and, receive a lot of bonuses to being underground that elves do not.
Alright.
They are actually a player race in Pathfinder as well.
Alright.
But, he doesn't appear particularly thrilled to see you, just because elves and drow generally don't get along.
Alright.
But,
I'm going to... Can I note... Do I notice that he doesn't seem to be happy to see me?
it's just a sort of elves and drow generally don't get along. Like,
Alright.
no drow that you've ever met has been particularly nice to you.
Alright.
I mean, you're a Polion, so you know. Generally, that doesn't happen a lot anyway, but even more so with drow.
Alright. Do you think that by showing... no, I'm actually going to ask him first. Tell me, do you have any knowledge of arcane symbols that might be of the lesser well-known kind? A bit more obscure, if you will.
I'm sure I could.
Alright, so I'm going to
How
show
much
him...
would you be willing to pay?
That depends on what you can tell me.
What are you showing him?
I'm showing him the brand on my head, because I don't actually know too much about what exactly it is.
So he sort of leans in and then sort of steps back once when he sees the symbol. Well, that is unusual. I'm afraid I know nothing about this. Please, good day.
No, I'm going to be persistent, and I'm going to ask him, if you have nothing to tell about the symbol, maybe you have something to say about this, and I'm going to slide the evil book onto the counter.
He practically jumps backward at this. Why are you carrying that thing around? Are you allowed to carry such things in civilized places such as this?
I will carry around what I wish, drow.
Inevitably so, and he sort of scrambles around and reaches for... Eventually he draws a greatsword from beneath the desk. Holds it in sort of shaking hands.
Oh, are we with him at this point?
You're with him.
Okay, so shield out, just, you know, in a protective of Polly kind of way.
Are you protecting Polly with it, or...?
I'm protecting Polly with it, yeah. Saying,
So,
now, there's no need for such unfortunateness.
There might be, if he would not remove such an item from my shop.
I get the impression that you do know something about this. Tell me, and I'll remove it with all the pleasure I can bring.
Leave, or it will be I experiencing said pleasure. And he sort of pulls his arms back, as if to swing.
Polly, come on. He's not worth it, mate. He's not worth it. He's not worth it.
Any night out in Britain.
The guard captaincy is like, 5 minutes down the road. I'm not.
Alright.
David's not here, but
I am going...
reminder.
You know what? Did I see him like pull away the stitched thing?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to say, it seems that you too have interest in the more necromantic of arts, and I'm going to
That
point.
is not necromancy.
Well,
I'm not aware of what that is, but its aura is quite...
Post-mortem communications. That's what they call it in Discord, right?
yeah.
Yeah. He sort of pushes the book back towards you with the point of the greatsword, making a point to stay as far away from it as possible. Have you been touching that thing? On bare skin?
And I am going to say, where do you think this symbol comes from?
Well, that explains a lot. Good day to you. And he sort of turns around, and actually, there's a door inset in the wall,
Alright.
leading into the building past the stall, and he goes through it and slams the door.
Alright. As he leaves, can I try to steal whatever is in his stall?
Well, it's a stall.
You're a bit
It's
of a
got...
klepto, really, aren't you?
Well, everything
Yes.
that I can get, I should get. I mean, it's opportunities, really. It's steal and let's steal.
So there's a couple of sort of amulets that your wizard eyes can tell have some sort of magical potency, but you're not entirely sure what. And
Alright.
you also now have a human arm that is twitching.
Ugh.
Alright.
It
Do
is
I-
a post-mortem human arm.
Do I need to roll stealth or sleight of hand to shove all of that in my backpack?
Are you trying to be stealthy to the party, or are you trying to be stealthy to the shop you're stealing from?
Both.
Both? Yeah.
You can roll sleight of hand to be stealthy to the party if you'd like, but the drow has left.
What? Ugh. Alright, so the drow is left, so
So there is loud clattering as you literally are just like tucking things down your the arm of your robes.
Oh, Polly, come on.
You're throwing things into your pockets.
They'll come after. They'll come after you. Don't.
He throws an arm over his head into the backpack.
Oh man. No.
I...
Sigmund's just gonna back away. He's gonna.
I'm just gonna say, hey, you never know when we'll need this. Well,
This
you
is
don't.
gonna be on. This is gonna be on your head, Buckhart. I want none of this. And he's
So
gonna-
you have
You don't know when we might need this.
two amulets of some sort of enchantment. You're not entirely sure what.
stealing from a necromancer is bad news, Bears.
And
Polly.
you have a post-mortem human arm that twitches away.
Alright.
Ugh. So can we just like see like something jiggling beneath like
Oh, yeah,
Polly's
his-
cloak?
His backpack is just like the flap is opening a little bit every once in a while.
That's so horrible.
Nice.
Oh no, the wiki's gone down again. Damn.
Not the
dear.
wiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, I solved that problem by just usually leaving like everything I need open. What sounded wrong as hell?
Alright.
Your
It was a while
necromantic
ago.
comments, I think.
Oh yeah, it was him having like all the pleasure or something. Yeah, I guess that sounded pretty wrong.
Alright, I guess.
I like that Polly's version of the drow just looks kind of bored. That's pretty wonderful. Right, okay. So, yeah, you're now back blinking in the sunlight. Polly slightly richer from having stolen from an innocent drow man.
I'm not sure if he was innocent.
Yeah,
He had
I-
that in his shop.
He's a perfectly innocent practitioner of post-mortem communications.
Communications.
Okie doke, does anyone have anything else they'd like to do in the bazaar?
Not
I was thinking
really.
of buying arrows, but like I don't want to make this drag on anymore.
Well, you
That's-
can.
just-
I think 20 arrows are 1 gold piece, so you can. Oh, you
I
want.
was gonna get like cool arrows, like some.
Find the article on the cool arrows and update your inventory and.
Well,
Yeah,
I
Wiki's down.
also think that, you know, we've got 10 minutes before 9 o'clock. I don't know what Mon's.
What my
birthday will be like.
Pardon?
Birthday will be like. Sorry,
No.
you didn't finish the sentence. So I
Yeah,
just-
well, Mon's time, because, you know, doesn't he have to.
Yeah, I have 10 minutes left. Round and
Okay.
about.
Yeah.
So, would anyone like to do anything else in the bazaar while we're here?
Other than get arrows.
Like Sigmund will have kept an eye out for like what the common mercenary prices are, but that's about it. We don't need to RP all that.
Fair enough. Glamvar, would you like to do anything in town? I'm aware you've had a bit of a quiet session.
Well, it's because Gamma doesn't really need to go and buy anything, or
Just because he doesn't need to buy anything.
Well, yeah,
doesn't
but
mean
I
he can't
don't-
do anything. He
I
could
just
be out. He could have his ear to the ground. I know he's got some goals of his own that he's curious about, so he could always.
I guess he could go and see if he could find out anything about those bandits they encountered on the way in.
Fair enough. So yeah, you can roll local knowledge if you'd like. I'm assuming basically that while everyone else was in the bazaar, Glamvar sort of set off by himself for a little bit.
Very possible.
Knowledge local, so it's just basically an untrained in check, really.
An unchained nunchuck. Which I think are actually a thing in this game. So, yeah, you notice that there's a few streets over. You notice that there's taverns with sort of unruly characters, you know. And from your previous times in the city, you do recognize this tavern as somewhere where you would occasionally go for work if you were interested in being paid by the hour. So, yeah, you enter this sort of quite dim tavern. What are you looking for?
Come on.
What am I looking for? I guess any familiar, I was not gonna say familiar faces, but what the fuck?
That's fucking hilarious. PATHCO in a nutshell.
Mon jiggling an arm
twitching
around.
arms.
Any contacts? Yeah, any people he might have known as contacts back when he was a thug.
Fair enough. You can roll perception.
Where the hell is it? There it is.
So, yeah, you notice a sort of tall half-elf gentleman sat at the bar. He's dressed in sort of, for a bandit, fairly sort of fine-looking armor, and you know, he looks fairly well-dressed. Barely a hair is out of place on his head, which is in a sort of shortish ponytail. And you recognize him as someone that you knew fairly well in the olden days.
Say it again. I got half of that. My audio is playing hell today.
So basically, you recognize a sort of fairly tall half-elf gentleman, dressed fairly like gentleman thiefish, let's say. He's wearing sort of quite well-made armor. He's an older gentleman. There are maybe one or two flecks of grey in his quite otherwise fairly neat hair, cropped into a short ponytail.
Okay. He's going to cautiously approach.
So basically the half-elf sort of turns and sort of says, I'm sorry, I'm not contributing wealth to your cause today, and he sort of brushes you away for a second before pausing. Glanvar! He sort of shakes your hand broadly. It's been so long, I thought you'd been killed. And Glanvar recognizes this as Petros, one of his friends from the olden days.
He says, "Not yet. Although some have made some good attempts.
I'm
on one
sure
occasion,
of it.
you on one occasion, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I'd say at least twice. Did the club across your head remove your memory or some such? I'm insulted to think you'd only believe I'd tried to kill you once. Would you like a drink, my friend?
I'm okay for them. I'm okay for the moment. Doesn't want him to know that he's not drink. He's mended his ways. So
Very well, more for me. And he sort of he's actually a fair decent amount of way through some sort of orcish vodka, from what you can tell, which smells rather rather sort of noxious even from where Glanvar's sitting. But he pours himself a little shot glass of it and necks it immediately. He smiles sharkishly at you. So, what brings you into town? Can I help you with anything?
You probably could. Seems like
There it
that
is.
could help us cheat at the arena.
Say it again, sorry. Like,
If he's like some kind of illegal dude, he could help us with the arena.
He's an illegal dude, he is.
I don't know, a criminal, that's the right word.
Crim, Ron Crim.
That's what I was looking for.
encountered some interesting boys on the walk into this lovely place you seem to be calling home today these days. Know anything about them?
Oh, have you been seeing old faces on the road again?
They didn't look familiar to me, although they seemed to know who I was.
Oh, well, you touched so many lives during your brief career. I mean, it's unsurprising that others may have took after you. No? Besides, we have a mutual friend who is assisting in these matters, helping us out of the government's holding, as it were.
Ah, so they're your boys.
Not my boys. We are equally managed. Everyone has a say. We earn our own wages, Glanvar. You should know that. Or have you grown soft in your older age? And he sort of brushes your beard.
In response, he grabs his wrist and slams it into the table.
Whoa.
He sort of smiles sharkishly, like his teeth are pointed. And he smiles wider. That's better. I was beginning to think you'd become a merchant or some such.
Hold your tongue, or I'll hold it for you.
Glanvar, please, we're in a public place. And he sort of licks his lips. His tongue is fairly pointed as well, just ugh. He is an interesting gentleman.
Yeah. I think he and Napoleon would get along quite well.
Okay, so what's the fun going on these days around here?
Wouldn't you like to know? I'm working with some local guilds, local businesses, you know. All above board, of course. I'm far less careless than I was in those days. As are you, I've heard. I haven't heard anything about a single not-so-good deed from you in years.
Trying to keep my head down for a little while. I barely escaped prison the last time.
Oh, you make that sound like a bad thing, Glanvar. It's the thrill of the chase. Like a hunter with prey. I would have expected you to recall that. Roll a reflex save.
Just roll the reflex save, roll it.
A dagger thuds into the table just between your fingers. He smiles warmly, pulling back and leaving the dagger embedded some distance into the wood.
Was that supposed to intimidate me?
Well, definitely not the reflexes of a merchant. So the question remains, where have you been? Is there a buxom dwarven lass somewhere with a younger Glanvar?
I'm sure there are several somewhere.
Wow.
My, you do get around. But you still haven't answered my question. If you merely wanted to catch up, I'm sure you could have gotten in contact. Why come to all the trouble of visiting?
I'm on the road looking for new opportunities.
Aren't we all?
The road brought me here.
I see it did. It's nice to see you, Glanvar. Roll a reflex save. . as he tries to thud down a dagger into the table, he has an arrow 1 inch from his face.
Try that again. I dare you.
Oh, wouldn't I love to? What would come first? My blade on your bowstring, or your arrowhead through my fine face?
How about my fist?
Ouch. Touch a nerve, perhaps? I know you archers hate to be disarmed. Regardless, and he sort of stretches, standing up. Please feel free to have the rest of the bottle. I have to return to work. It's been good seeing you, Glanvar.
Indeed. May our paths cross again soon.
Not the only thing I'd love to cross. Your throat has been without a blade for some time, I see. Ciao. And he leaves.
Camp mercenary dude.
Yeah.
Did I play him too, Camp?
He was cool. I like him.
This is one of Pegasus' characters, though, and I'm quite worried that I've just made him a little bit Maximilian Pegasus. Was that too much?
It'll do.
Fair enough. I loved the catching him with the bow. That was wonderful. So, is that a decent sort of ending point for now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Yeah.
Cool.
Granvar just smashes the bottle onto the ground.
Oh no!
Sigmund's agonized cries.
To be fair, it's like orcish vodka. There's a hissing from the table as it eats into the wood a little bit.
Wow.
It's
Foul stuff.
It's the PATHCO equivalent of Nanny Og Scrumpy. It's that level of you can use it to get rust off of iron and stuff like that, you know?
Wow.
You used to get rust off of rust.
Wow.
You can use it to get the blade off a sword. But yeah, that was a sort of it was a little bit of a slower session, I think, but it was kind of fun, I guess.
Like,
Yeah.
We don't normally get the chance to like
Shop.
Mhm.
we don't go to cities very much, so we don't get all these cool stuff like weird birds which hum.
Yeah.
But only some people can hear it. Like that this bird can do.
Anyone who got interesting stuff this session, Mon, if you want to talk about the drow, or Egg, if you want to talk about the hummingbird, or Heggers, if you want to talk to me about Petros, feel free in the like intermediary week, I guess, just to make sure I'm going in the right direction, DMing and stuff.
All right.
But yeah, I think we're pretty good for PATHCO this week. Was that fun for everyone?
That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
It was a pretty chilled out session, but
Yeah, well, it was a shopping episode.
Mhm.
Those
Yeah.
happen from time to
Yeah.
time because they kind of have to, right? So,
We can kick ass without
I've actually just noticed that my volume has probably been way too loud in comparison to yours because of some settings I left on.
Hellhound's never complained, so I'm sure.
yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
true.
I guess.
Hellhounds is awesome. Hellhounds never complains.
All right. Yeah.
I don't think you shout quite as much as I do.
Yeah, I definitely shout.
golden dice.
Who do we think got the golden dice this week?
I think Heggers dodged
Yeah,
out
yeah.
the way of all of
It was
those
cool to
things.
have like the backstory character come in and such.
Yeah,
was
that
nice.
was excellent. I really need to keep that up a little more often, I think. 'Cause
I like
that was
drawing too.
that was wonderful. And
The drawing was just creepy.
yeah, Mon, your drawings are really what makes PATHCO for me. I really love having them in the backdrop.
Thanks.
I like it. We have like the map, like the first one with the doodles around the outside, but we don't really have a map. At the
Yeah, we
moment.
don't.
Yeah.
From the moment that we get into like the dungeon, because I assume that there's going to be a dungeon, I will draw the map.
There is actually 2 dungeons in this.
Oh, right.
Although
Well,
one of
2
them's like a
maps then.
small
You
one.
spoil us.
Mhm,
I do.
Yeah.
I already know about them.
Wow.
Do you? Have I
Spoil.
read?
You've mentioned like the general gist of one of the dungeons. It sounds pretty cool, but I don't know the details.
Oh, fair enough. Cool. Yeah, they should be good.
Mhm.
So yeah, Heggers, I think you should probably get the golden dice just because that was a really fun encounter to play as well.
Yeah, that was cool.
And
I
I
like
get to
that.
play psycho killer characters very often, so that was kind of fun. Yes, so good game, everyone. GG.
Playing it wrong in that case.
Hmm?
You're playing it wrong in that case.
Yeah, duly know it. It's fine. We got the like terse standoff with the drow guy as well. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. I probably bet that he's going to be coming back at some point once he realizes that I've looted his arm.
Perhaps. Yes, so PATHCO should probably be 7 p.m. again next Sunday.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
sounds good.
Can't
I'll
see
be
why
at
not.
home. Oh my god, I'm so stoked.
Are you gonna be okay to PATHCO?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
And that's like forget my microphone, but I'm so paranoid about forgetting my microphone. I probably won't forget my microphone. I'll
Good.
forget something else.
Fair enough.
All right, I'm gonna be going though, so I'm gonna end the stream
Okay.
yet.
All
Say
right.
goodbye, everyone.
Well,
Goodbye,
that has
everyone.
been PATHCO for this week. Several people nearly died. Shoplifting occurred. A lot of birds occurred.
Sorry.
Oh, and Tilda showed up briefly to actually give the heroes a quest. Lovely.
Nice.
And we'll see you all next week in the world of PATHCO.
Bye.
Say goodbye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.